people that don't know what UHF is, if you don't know what UHF is, get the fuck out of here. I'm just kidding. This is ultra high frequency is what it stands for.
Yeah, it's
And
the spectrum just above VHF.
There you go. What does VHF stand for? Very?
Yeah, I think it's very.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like the old channels for TV when they broadcast like there was a certain
area,
certain band of waves that was reserved for like the national broadcasts and stuff like the big channels, whatever. And then you had these like independent
local
stations
that could only have a certain radius,
and they could broadcast to the UHF side, so those were up in the high channels.
Right.
That's kind of what this movie is kind of centered around, like the later like tail end of that.
Yeah, and it's cool. UHF. So I'm just gonna talk about the plot very basically. So Weird Al gets hired to run this failing TV station, Channel 62, and it's failing. But then because of Stanley Spadowski, who is played by Michael Richards, who is Kramer in Seinfeld, he becomes a star and sort of helps save the station. But then there's an evil head of a network of Channel 8 who is trying to stop them from succeeding. That is the basic plot of the film, and honestly, it's very funny. It holds up. There's like a couple things that maybe didn't age great, but that being said, it's from 1989. That a little bit of that to me is excusable. Like there's a brown face scene where he's playing Gandhi that maybe didn't
that's like the director and it, like Weird Al's manager.
Oh, okay. It's not Weird Al. I thought it was him.
No, it's Jay Levy who did the.
Oh.
I think he directed, co-wrote the film, and was like Weird Al's manager, I think.
Okay. See, that the joke is good with that. That like, what if Gandhi was a blaxploitation Shaft type character, and then we made a sequel to the classic film Gandhi, and it was like this ridiculous sort of crime movie with a chef. Have
you seen Clone High?
I've some of it, not the whole thing. I've seen a couple episodes.
So yeah, similar like thing where Gandhi goes and makes his like indie film with some other friend of his.
Okay, yeah, and people with Gandhi, with that show, that was the reason why it was sort of canceled. I heard anyway. It was because Gandhi
part of it
was controversial,
yeah.
and they wouldn't bring Gandhi back, and he was the most popular character too. So that was kind of a side note, but it's interesting. UHF, I'm gonna click on the IMDb. But yeah, no, this movie's super funny. Like I said, that gag with the Gandhi thing, it would work, and it did work. It's funny, but it would be less cringy if it was an actual Indian person. I think nowadays, and because the joke lands, the joke is funny. It's just it hasn't aged well for that because of the brown face.
Yeah, I think the other like only stereotype thing really is just Cooney.
The animal or the Asian guy?
The karate teacher.
That's what I was thinking.
He's like the landlord. And,
and I was going to mention that too with the part where it's like supplies and like, you know, it's not that big a deal, but it is a little bit
I think outdated. He was in 16 Candles, which is a way more racist movie now.
Okay, you know, but that's the thing though, right? A lot of these movies, even movies from not that long ago, like this or 16 Candles, there's some scenes in it where they would not happen today, right?
I was a big fan of Short Circuit as a kid. Which, the guy who plays that Indian guy in the movie is, he's just some white guy. And I think he's also, you wouldn't recognize him at all, like, between that character and the other, but he's, like, one of the henchmen in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, that's funny. That's a deep cut, for sure. Okay, back to the chat. Who is Alfred? UHF is greater than the Weird Al Show. Oh, absolutely. We've talked about the Weird Al Show before on here, and you know it's got some good pit, but there's a lot of hit and miss with the Weird Al Show. With this, much more hit than miss. It's very funny from the beginning to the end, I'd say. And you know we have to mention the Twinkie Weenie sandwich. A Twinkie Weenie sandwich, and you got to say it like that. But you know, this is a classic Weird Al thing. It had to be included. It's he gets asked
I
about it in
sort of
interviews.
made one once, and
Was it-
was pretty
was it-
good.
It wasn't bad. Well, that's the thing.
I didn't have like spray cheese, but I used like cheese, and I had like
Oh,
it wasn't even like a full size.
Weird Al would say that doesn't cut it. It has to
Yeah.
be spray cheese.
I
he
had like
said.
a mini Twinkie and just like a leftover hot dog and some cheese, and I was like, yeah, this works.
I'm sure it's fine. I don't think it appeals to me personally, but the flavors are probably there. It's like very processed.
I think
high
I've seen like
sugar
React channels,
food.
like one of those food React channels, like
Oh,
try that.
I bet. It's sort of a classic weird food item. Stunt food before stunt food, you could say. But yeah, Twinkie Weenie sandwich, so that's cool. And then there's just fun gags in this, right? Like it's like you can tell that Mad Magazine is a huge influence, not only by the gags, but there's a literal fucking poster of Mad Magazine in one of the scenes.
I think he said he based, was it like the Uncle Nutsy thing? Was like based on a Mad Magazine thing he remembered?
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, and Uncle Nutsy or whatever is pretty funny. It's Weird Al's attempt at a kids show, and he's not very good at it, and the kids hate him, but that's part of why it's funny. And then of course it sets it up for Michael Richards to save it and make everyone love him. And we gotta talk with Michael Richards. We have to talk about him being racist in 2006, but that was in 2006. This is in 1989. I guess this is fucking before. This is before Seinfeld.
Yeah, I think he would have been more famous, or if he was known at all back then. It wasn't Seinfeld. It was like, there was this kind of SNL like show called Fridays, and then I think he was also in like the Problem Child movies or something.
Okay, Problem Child is on the list actually, but I have never seen it. I think Gilbert Gottfried's in it or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, people.
I have very little memory of those,
Fair enough.
except for like the vomit in like one of them, where he turns up the rides or something.
I've seen some of the clips. It's like a lot of people.
Or like it pisses in the lemonade. I think I remember that.
It's on a lot of people's like list of worst movies of all time, but it's on some people's best movies. So it's like it's very hit and miss for people liking it.
Yeah, see,
Not
like
liking
there's
it?
I always have this thing with like bad movies. It's like the good bad movies are usually not comedies, because like when a comedy fails, it's just like so hard to sit through.
No, I agree completely with that. A bad comedy is harder to sit through than a bad drama, in my opinion, because a bad drama could be funny.
Yeah.
Like
You usually get some like good ham out of the drama.
like The Room or something. But that's an extreme case, obviously. Is Jambi in this movie? I don't know what that means. Do you know
Johnny
what
the
it is?
Genie, like
Oh.
from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not too familiar, but I believe that.
I remember that person like died recently.
Oh, that's sad. Both Weird Al's parents died of carbon monoxide poisoning. My dad loves to tell me this because he loves to be like, have a carbon monoxide detector. Remember, Weird Al's parents died. Remember, carbon monoxide detector. That's my impersonation of my dad, trying to make me use the carbon monoxide detector.
Carbon monoxide making me choke.
Oh my god.
No. What song is that?
I don't know. Just throwing out there.
Oh yeah, Traffic Jam. That's a Weird Al song.
Traffic Jam, Weird Al. We're talking about Weird Al. Just throwing that out there at the same time. Yeah, it would be too weird at different times. Too weird, too Weird Al. Spoon. Oh yeah, Spoon. Like in Are you talking about The Room? We mentioned The Room quickly. Mad Magazine was a major influence on many generations. This is true.
The thing about The Room, nobody ever talks about this. That there's like an elephant in there.
What, like a literal elephant?
No, nobody ever talks about the elephant in the room.
Like a literal elephant? What? What are you talking about? The Room?
I'm just shitposting.
Oh, okay. It's okay. I'm sorry.
I don't know, trolling.
I think I get the
I guess
joke now.
it's like libel versus whatever. It's like libel in
Contempt?
print. Whatever. It's
It's okay.
I was just saying, like, I said shit posting when I probably meant like trolling, because I'm not written.
It's okay. I get what you mean. You're trolling my ass. Moving on. Let's watch Child's Play though. Child's Play is good. Like the original. I'm assuming you don't mean the remake with Aubrey Plaza.
Because a remake.
Yeah, they made a remake with Aubrey Plaza. I heard it's not good. I heard that the main problem people had was that they changed the origin. So instead of Chucky being what do you call it? But a person inside of them or whatever, instead of that, like being possessed by
Child's
murder.
Play?
Yeah.
I thought you meant Problem Child.
Oh no, Child's Play. You know,
It's like
Problem Child's
they
Play.
remade Problem Child and they changed the origin story for the kid.
They should mix those together and make a remake.
Oh yeah, the kid hates clowns, doesn't he?
We're getting way off topic here though. Yeah, just reprint material now, I guess. But at least I'm a member of the UGOI for life. That's right. My dad was in Mad Magazine. He loves to tout that.
Oh, nice.
One time, but still, more times than I was in it. So
UHF.
Yeah, UHF. Mad Magazine influenced. I just gotta finish reading this shit though. Let's watch Child's Play though. We might. I should put it on the list maybe. I've seen it though, so maybe not. But maybe we'll see. We shall see. Come grab your lations, Hubert. I'm Major Jelly. Rest in peace, Jambi. Yeah.
So yeah, we were talking about Michael Richards, and then that's how we got off topic.
The racism. The Tick. Jeff is doing a Stevie. Remake. Why? Yeah, Child's Play. That happened a while. But I did want to quickly. I know this is off topic, but the Child's Play. The thing that's different is that instead of being possessed by the murderer, they basically did the Simpsons plot line of it, which was have it like a switch on it that like makes it evil, or it's like a.
Here's your problem.
It's like part. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, I've seen that meme. Like.
Yeah, apparently that's the what they went with was the Simpsons plot line. So that's why I wanted to mention. It would be funny to like review them both and just talk shit about the new one probably, but maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but.
You gotta love when the Simpsons like predicts a thing.
Totally, absolutely. But yeah, back to this movie. So UHF, there's good gags throughout. Michael Richards, he plays a janitor. Let's just say, for lack of a better term, a slow janitor, but he's very lovable, and the kids love him, and he becomes a great entertainer. And he loves mopping, and that's a recurring joke. That he just wants to be the janitor, but he's offered his own TV show, and he says okay. But he does it. But his one stipulation is that he has to still be the janitor. He wants to still clean.
He wears some false teeth for like the character too.
Okay, you know what? I didn't know
teeth, yeah.
That makes sense. So there's that, and it's funny. But where am I going with? Yeah, he was racist in the 2006. He said something about sticking a fork up someone or something. It was racist.
Yeah, he just exploded out some hecklers, and it's just one of those like.
And it sort of killed his career.
Yeah.
But since then, he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they acknowledged that, and they actually handled it in a kind of funny way. I would recommend that episode if you're curious, like what happened to Cramp. But he's, I'm sure he's fine financially because of Seinfeld, so I wouldn't worry too much about him. But yeah, his career isn't what it maybe could have been. That could be fun. Yeah, it could be fun. Watch both. Maybe not. There's so much shit on the list I gotta get to.
I mean, nowadays, you just throw some transphobes on stage and they get a whole Netflix special.
Boom. We talking Dave Chappelle, or who?
I think there are multiple now. There's
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard it all. We've talked about it here before too. Okay, I'm off to watch some grindhouse crap with Glender later, fella. He's watching some shitty movie. Bye, Daddy. Take care. Okay, back to the movie. So, there's lots of funny little jokes. I could just keep going about like the funny jokes in this.
Yeah, there's like nice pacing. Like nothing like stays too long.
Yeah, it's good. It's like bang, bang, gag, gag, gag. And it all like it's easy to follow. It makes sense. Literally, my only notes are like the mild things that haven't aged well. That's my main note. Other than that, this is like a near perfect film. Like it's very funny.
I think you can't really nitpick the plot too much because it's not that important.
It's just very simple, and it's sort of
like
a setup for the gigs. It's a setup to show you these cutaway gigs, like Conan the Librarian, where it's like, oh, I got these books that are late. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and they chops them.
I love their because there's a kind of a mixture of different ways that they go about doing these parodies. It's like some of them are like the main character George is like imagination just going off.
Yeah.
He's just having
Like
this
the
fantasy
beginning-
of
like
being
the
like
beginning-
Rambo or whatever.
Yeah, like the opening too, with where it's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. And then there's others where it's just like a fake commercial, and the commercials are really.
Oh,
like the
yeah,
Spatula
super
City is
fun.
like amazing.
Yeah, Spatula City is fun. It's like, we have spatulas and nothing else.
Hello, this is Cy Greenloom.
Or Crazy Eddie's crazy car warehouse or whatever. He's like, if you don't come and buy this car right now, I'm gonna club this baby seal. Like, that's just fucking funny. That's a good joke.
What's for us? Eternal peace at affordable prices.
There's just good jokes throughout. And even if you don't you don't laugh at a joke, you're probably gonna laugh soon.
Also mention like there's just like these funny like little weird characters like that like the mad scientist guy. Philo.
Yeah.
That's actually he's apparently the actor who plays him is like mostly known for General Hospital.
Okay,
but like
that's funny.
It's just like an out of left field like performance of his, but like one of the because I I've seen like the DVD commentary and stuff like that, the deleted scenes. Basically when they were trying to find a casting, apparently they approached Joel Hodgson for that role.
Oh,
and he would have been so good too.
From Mystery Science Theater
yeah,
3000.
and the reason he couldn't do it was because he was just in the process of creating Mystery Science Theater.
That's fair. He was offered the scientist role.
Well, at the time he was doing like this kind of really deadpan stand-up, like it was like prop comedy.
I saw a clip that you shared. It was
Yeah,
funny.
it was
I
like,
actually,
you know,
I actually liked it. It was
when
actually
he
quite good.
in MST3K when he does the invention exchange, like a
It's
lot
sort
of
of
that
like
is based
that.
on
His
yeah.
prop comedy. That makes sense. And no, he was funny. I saw it. It was a clip from SNL, I think. It was quite funny. But Fran is hot as fuck. Is that the
Fran Drescher?
Is that the secretary?
Yeah, that person.
Oh, but then
that's-
becomes
yeah.
the news person.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Billy Barty is the guy, the little guy that's the cameraman.
Yeah, and I want to talk about him because there was a good payoff with that character. And there's a funny gag where he's like he's short, so he can't get the good angles. It's kind of funny. But then to make it worse, they push him down, and obviously you're not supposed to like these guys. These are the very obvious cartoon villains of the movie, and then it's done to the guy who. Let's look at that.
I love like some of the gags with the son who's like he's the son of the rich guy, and he's both evil, but he's also has to be very like subservient to his dad.
Yeah.
And there's like, I love that scene where like he's like yelling at all the people, and then like that one employee comes in, he's got like the funny hat on, and then just like keeps talking, and then at the end of the scene he's like, take that ridiculous thing off.
Oh yeah, and then
he takes the mustache
and
off.
he takes his mustache off. I like that. Yeah, it's funny. Kevin McCarthy as R.J. Fletcher. R.J. Fletcher is the tycoon who owns the Channel 8, who's the evil head of the network or whatever. And he is great. He is very, very funny. Perfect, I would say, even in this role. As the over-the-top cartoony villain. Very funny. Obviously Michael Richards is Stanley Spadowski. Obviously Weird Al plays George, but we just call him Weird Al.
Oh yeah, his friend Bob is played by a guy whose name is David Bowie.
I know, I noticed that. I was like, oh, it's so close to David Bowie. But
yeah, it's like it's one of those people that like you could easily mistake for David Bowie.
Yeah, just because of the name, absolutely. Fran Drescher as Pamela Finkelstein was her character's name, right? Yes.
She
is attractive.
There's a cameo. Emo Phillips as the shop.
As Joe Early.
The guy cuts his thumb off.
Right.
That scene and the
yeah, that was a good film.
That scene and like the dogs at the window. That was like the reason they got a PG-13. Apparently.
Oh, that makes sense.
They were like, it's like
that's
Ryan was like
funny though.
It's like you have to cut either of those scenes to get like a PG or something.
When they're like, no, they're good.
They're like, no, these are the best. And
yeah, that's fair. Take it.
Yeah, Emo Phillips is like a stand-up. He basically just does these one-liners, kind of like, what's his name? Rodney Dangerfield.
Mitch Hedberg or Rodney
like,
Dangerfield.
But they're like super dark. Like they just take this really dark turn every time.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm sure I'd like it. And that reminds me of one of the funny gigs. There's a part where they're doing the telethon. They're trying to raise money to save the station, and at this point, Stanley Spadowski, their main star, has been kidnapped. So they have to fill the time with like anything, and I love the first act that they show. This is these guys with these ridiculous like chin makeup, and
Oh,
they just
yeah.
go like.
I think they're called the Kipper Kids.
Oh yeah, something like that, and it
Yeah.
was like that made me laugh so hard because it was like, what's like the worst possible thing you can think of? It's like
Yeah.
maybe this would fit into that.
I think they just got a bunch of, because like a lot of the extras are just people from the town they were filming in. Was this? I think it's called
Yeah.
Tulsa.
Or they have a guy in like Old
Um,
Sam, or not Old Sam, what's he called? Uncle Sam get up and he's got the stilts, and then there's people with the hat on their head and the face on their stomach things.
And, like, yeah, there's like an upside down yodeler.
Oh, it acts like that. It's just maybe I like.
It's just
that.
like a lot of probably local talent or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny. Just,
Yeah, that was the like. I know this. I think. Yeah, I was gonna say if you can't really nitpick this too much, but like, I think one of the things that a lot of people point out is just that like the ending, or like the last like plot part where they're trying to raise money by selling shares. It's like technically that wouldn't work like as a financial way.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Yeah. I kind of see what you're saying.
I don't really know the mechanics of it, but like apparently, it's kind of a weird, like thing that you couldn't really do.
You can't just make your shares of a TV station.
I have no idea. It's just like there's something like
I feel like
off about like the
sure.
the way they do the fundraising. I don't know.
Sure, I'll give you that, but it's a movie. Cause like you let
Yeah, honestly, I think my one criticism would just be, like, the vague like mandatory love story thing with.
That is actually, I am so glad you mentioned that because I agree 100% with that. I thought about this watching the movie. This movie did not need a love interest.
First of all,
that's a very good point.
The character Weird Al plays is a terrible boyfriend.
Yeah, it's like he reminds me of how Robin Williams treats his girlfriend in Flubber. He leaves her at the altar 3 times, and Weird Al is doing something not as bad as Robin Williams.
Yeah, basically, like, he forgets dates. He does this really awful thing at the beginning of the movie where he just kind of like tries to brush aside the fact that he got fired, so he just like acts really over the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, like, it's what it is. I think her name's Victoria Jackson, like another one of those like sketch comedy.
Yeah, like she's fine. She's not doing a terrible job.
I think she might be a bit of a not so great person in real life.
Victoria Jackson. Okay, maybe I know nothing about her, but yeah, it's like she did a fine job acting, but yeah, I don't think that character was necessary. I think if they just took out the love interest bits, and maybe even just put a few more jokes, or like just cut them out, and it would have been fine. I think too, but yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad you mentioned that. It was not necessary, but the little person that was the camera person, as their name in the movie is Noodles, which is funny. But the actor is Billy Barty.
Yeah, I think he's quite a.
I feel like I've seen him in other shit.
Veteran actor from like way yonder.
Yeah, I feel like he's seen him in other shit.
I know he's been referenced in MS-3K.
He's in Masters of the Universe. He's in Willow. Makes sense.
Right.
Legend. And Under the Rainbow. I feel like that movie is about leprechauns.
I've heard of Willow. I think that's the
well,
one with Warwick Davis. Right?
Willow is huge. Yeah, Warwick Davis and I want to say Kurt Russell, but I could be wrong. A guy like that, if it's not Kurt Russell. Jaff and Muppets Take Manhattan. How did they get the puppets to ride the bicycle? You know the part where he's like riding it and you just see him riding it? How did they do that?
In which?
In Muppets Take Manhattan, where Kermit is riding the bike.
I have no idea.
Right? It's movie magic. We talked about this before, and it's really good shot though. Legend is art. Oh yeah, Legend's really good with the motherfucking Tim Curry as Satan. Very cool, and in my opinion, the best portrayal of Satan. Just looks hours of makeup. It looks fantastic. But anyway, back to the IMDb page. But yeah, the jokes are just fucking gold in this. Like it's just funny from the beginning to the end. That's a good point about the love interest, and my point about just the things that didn't age great, but that's sort of minor. I'd say that your point about the love interest is a little more major.
There's a character who kind of appears nowhere in the movie, and there's a reason. You know that the guy who does the animal show.
Oh right, yeah.
They're like, where did you find this guy?
Yeah, that's
I mean, that is a good. I mean, it is kind of funny that he just shows up out of nowhere. Apparently,
it's a very good joke.
In the script, he was supposed to be the mail delivery guy,
but then they decided to just have him appear.
What happened was the actor Trinidad Silva actually was killed like by a drunk driver one day, and so they couldn't finish filming his scenes.
Oh my god! Wow.
And so I think they just didn't get like. There was supposed to be a little like thing where he gets to come up and by like poodles during the telethon or something.
Okay, but that didn't happen, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, let's talk about that character because he's funny, and it starts off with him with the turtle, and it starts off.
If you're bothered by animal cruelty, this is kind of a gag version of that.
Yeah, I think that it's okay because it's clearly they're not actually harming animals, so to me that makes it okay. But the turtle. It starts off with the turtle. It starts off with like some real facts, like it's got a shell and uses it as home. But a lot of people don't know this. It's actually also nature's suction cup, and then he throws the turtle and it sticks to the ceiling, and that's funny. But my favorite gag isn't even the poodle kicking out with this guy. It's when he's got the ants, and he's like, "Look how much time it takes hours for them to get these intricate tunnels. But look what I'm gonna do," and then he just shakes it up, and then Weird Al and David Bowie are like, where'd you find this guy? I thought you found him. I didn't find him. I thought you found him. So he's just sort of somehow got into this network, and that's the joke, and that's funny.
He has one like other scene where they're parodying that like badges line.
Oh yeah,
bring me those stinking badgers.
What is that line from originally?
I don't remember the exact movie. I know it's like there is a reference. I think in. Was it Blazing Saddles or
Blazing Saddles? Maybe
it comes from like this older, like black and white movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I knew it's a famous quote, and I get the joke. We don't need no stinking badgers.
And I think like the line goes differently too. It's something like, I don't have to show you, stinking badges or something like that.
Yeah, but it's obviously based on that. Did they give the turtle pizza? Didn't you? You know this movie. You know that they didn't. But I get the joke. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hellboy can't hold a torch to the Lord of Darkness. Yeah, I mean, seriously, yeah. In that movie, Tim Curry, fucking, like, that is what Satan looks like. Legend is super underrated. I think it looks super great. Ridley Scott, obviously, who directed Alien. I can't remember every part. How dare you, Stevie? I'm just kidding, that's fair. I'm actually running out of shit to say. Do you have anything else to say? Let's look at the box office. Ooh, the tagline is funny. If I don't know if it says it here, but I think I can remember it. It's the way that TV was meant to be seen in a movie theater. That was quite funny. It's a good tagline.
Yeah, I guess overall, like background info is like, when they were making this film, Orion Pictures was actually doing pretty bad.
Oh yeah, because this was an Orion picture, yeah.
And so apparently, they did like test screenings for this movie, and it got really good reactions. And Orion was kind of hoping to be like a hit, so they put it in this summer, where they've got like Batman coming out and Indiana Jones, and like just all this like, I think
And there's an Indiana Jones gag at the beginning of the
there's like so
funny.
much. I think even the trailer actually did that. Like they tried to do a switcheroo where it's like, I think it's gonna be Indiana Jones with this Weird Al.
That's a smart way to do the trailer. That makes sense.
But yeah, this movie bombed.
Really?
It got really like.
You're right.
Buried by all this stuff during the summer.
It made more money than the budget though, so that's to me that's not quite a bomb. But I know
like where it got the cult following was actually like rental, blockbuster.
Oh, totally. And that's a lot of films.
That's how I first saw the movie.
Absolutely.
This guy I knew in elementary school, we went out to, I think it was Blockbuster, or maybe it was 49-cent Video or something like that.
Oh yeah, 49-cent Video is dope.
But yeah, we found a copy of this.
Yeah, it's dope, and that was part of the fun. back with movie rental places. It was more of a journey to watch a movie.
Yeah, you could go to that. It was like 49-cent video. You could go
7 movies for $7.
if you went to the back or like you went to this one obscure area. You could dig up and find like MST3K VHS.
Oh hell yeah! So yeah, like you said, it didn't do great, but it did make money. Still, it made like 1 million more than its budget, which is 5 million, and it grossed 6.1 million.
And then it was out. It was out of print for a while until like the 2000s, I think, when they came out with the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And the DVD was like a huge hit.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of these movies go but that's why it's so cool, and things have changed so much because of it. Is because it used to be you have your first chance with the movie, with the theaters, and if that doesn't go well, you still have your chance with the DVD rental or VHS rental. But now with the streaming and only like superhero movies for the most part going to theaters, everything is a lot different than it used to be in those regards.
So Morbius still has a chance.
Morbius made money. It fucking made money, even though it's been shit on relentlessly.
I think people like memed it more just because Morbius, the word sounds funny rather than like whatever the movie was about.
And people we're going to movies like
it's Morbin time.
Like Morbin time. Too Fast, Too Morbius.
Yeah.
Fast and the Morbius. I saw a gag like that where they had all these fake DVDs with. They were like the Fast and the Furious movies.
Have you seen the TikTok, the Space Jam DVD?
Yeah, it's the same guy. I think that's his whole thing where he does
Morbius DVD.
Does DVD jokes like that. Such handsome boys. What are you talking about? Me? Weird Al? Jeff? What are you talking about? I can't remember every part. That's fair. I think we should end the review unless you have anything else to add about it, because we could keep talking forever if you have anything to add. But I am
I'll just mention quickly. There's a music video in the movie.
For Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, the Money for Nothing one, and then
Dire
there was
Straits.
a music video of the UHF theme song, which has Weird Al doing a whole bunch of like parodies of different musical artists. Like the videos, like he dresses as Prince. He dresses as like Guns N' Roses.
Oh wow! That's on the special features of UHF.
Well, it would be, yes. Also, it's just part of his his videography.
Okay,
it's not cool. It's not part of the movie, but it was a thing. Like the soundtrack album has like it has a couple of the commercials. It has the UHF theme song, and then a few other just random parodies and stuff that were. Just they weren't in anything related to the movie, but fair. It's an album
it's
too.
It's included anyway. Fair enough.
Spam in the place where I live.
Yeah, no, it's super dope. I don't have much else other to say than it was really good. We mentioned the main notes, I think, with the love interest being unnecessary and some things didn't age well. It didn't do well, but it's very funny.
If they made a sequel, they could call it 5G.
That's a good joke. Okay, so Stevie asks, wait, those are all black and gray wearing goth boys. Oh, okay. Is Jaff sticking around for Juggy Time, which is the rap segment? And that's what we call the rap segment. It's up to you. I don't know if you can make anything resembling a beat on there.
I could come up with something.
But if we do that, we could just do that and freestyle the whole time. And that sounds fun. So let's do that then. Yeah, I think Jeff will stick.
If I have that thing too, maybe I'll.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll try something. We'll try to work out something. But let's first rate this film. I liked it a lot. I think it's quite good. I'm gonna give this. For me, this is high, but it's not crazy high, I guess. No, it is 8.5. It's good. It's very good. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it, especially if you like Weird Al. It's just like, to me, the definitive Weird Al piece of media, other than like the music. But like, if you're gonna watch one thing, watch this fucking movie. Over the show. But I am very curious about the Daniel Radcliffe movie coming out. I really want to see that. But yeah, here's the Garage Boys instrumental while I do this real quick. Oh yeah. UHF 8.5 out of 10 dogs. We said it. I'll say it again. It's funny as fuck. Good jokes all the way through. The things that could have been changed. Some things just didn't age great. The love interest was unnecessary. We've said it all. We've been talking for a while. Thanks for watching, folks. That's 8.5 out of 10 dogs for UHF. What would you give it, Jeff?
Let's say 8.27 because Weird Al likes 27.
Okay, I like it. All right.